What's going on, beautiful people? This is Max coming back to you with another video. And today's topic is going to be how to properly hold other people accountable. How to properly hold other people accountable. Now, notice I didn't say how to check people, right? But how to properly hold other people accountable. And this talk today is inspired by the recent event of what happened with the Gayle King, Lisa Leslie video, the backlash that happened, and even what Snoop Dogg posted online and came back and later kind of worked on and added more to it and kind of clarified what he was really supposed to say. So this video is going to be how to properly hold other people accountable. So, as you recently know, everybody's been talking about the subject with the video or the interview of Gayle King on CBS, where she interviewed Lisa Leslie. I'm not going to go too deep into that topic. There's plenty of discussion going on about that. What I will say quickly about that is when someone has passed and something happened is in their past true, your past will always be part of your legacy, right? But when someone has passed, now's not the time to bring up dirt when the person was alive, and that could have been discussed. But we're not gonna go too deep into that. We'll talk about the backlash that happened, most notably Snoop Dogg's comment and people's similar comments. And so here's what I'll say about that. Oftentimes, people will react in the heat of a moment, right? Now, I heard Snoop's the original post when he went in on Gayle King, called her name and said, "We'll come get you." And then there was a lot of backlash from that. And then he came up with another statement. He corrected it, said, "We're not seeking violence against her. We're not seeking to hurt her or kill her or anything. We just want to make sure some of our own are protected." So this got me to thinking about oftentimes how we react on social media and face to face with people. So that scenario happened, and also there was another similar scenario that happened this last week, where there was a CEO of a company, I'm not sure the name of the company, who got into an Uber. He wanted to sit in the front seat, and this was all on video, by the way. The gentleman driving the Uber asked him to go in the back seat. He started going back and forth with the driver, and then the driver said, "You know what? It's I prefer not having people in my seat, and if this is gonna be an issue, I'll go ahead and cancel it. You can find somebody else." The guy proceeded to just go in the back seat and stay there. The driver said, "I canceled the ride. Please leave my car." The guy did not want to leave the car. They went back and forth, and the passenger ended up calling him the N-word. Of course, the passenger is a Caucasian gentleman. The driver was an African American, and it escalated from there. And from that point, because this was all on video, right? When this got out, the Caucasian gentleman ended up getting fired from his own company that he started, and he ended up losing his job. So at that point, he says, "I have nothing. This was taken out of context. Blah blah blah. This and that and the third." This is a very important topic. Why? Because everything you do affects you in the long term. I'll say it again. Everything that you say and do affects you in the long term. What we're building here, and one thing I want to remind you guys is that I'm not a business expert yet. I am not even a character expert. I'm not perfect. I am someone that is sharing my journey as I'm building my business, as I'm building my coaching business and my personal businesses. I'm going to share along with you guys the knowledge that I've picked up over the years and what I'm currently learning or things that I'm going to be learning. And so when it comes to how we react, oftentimes in the heat of the moment, we can say things to our loved ones, partners, friends, associates that we don't mean. Because the emotions are high, everything is fresh, and we feel like, things will randomly come to mind. And in the heat of the moment, we'll just let it go and not think about the consequences, because right now at the moment you're emotional, you're upset, you feel validated in order to say enough to say what you want to say. But when time goes by, you get to the point where you think about it and you realize, that's not really how I felt. I said it, but that's not really how I felt. So here's the important thing. When dealing with something, no matter how right you are, no matter how correct you are, it's important for all of us, because these are things that I've worked on and I'm continuing to work on in my life. When you feel like someone needs to be held accountable for something that they've done wrong, right? Sometimes in the streets they call it, I'm gonna check somebody. But I don't want to say check somebody, because sometimes when you check somebody, the person becomes defensive and they put up a wall and now they're not listening. It's important to come to people in a way where they don't feel attacked. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, and this will go a long way even when sometimes you're the CEO or you're dealing with your wife, kids. It goes a long way when you come to someone in a certain way where they don't have to feel cornered and backed up. Now, I will admit that sometimes you have to take a stronger stance. There's sometimes as a CEO, supervisor, manager, as someone that's in charge of a program, whatever it is, you have to take a tougher stance. So when that is required, do what you have to do. But oftentimes, if you can sit back and just, especially when you're dealing with people online, you're dealing with a friend, you're dealing with a loved one, right? Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever your situation is. If you step back and you come from a way where I just want to help versus I'm gonna check you, I'm gonna tell you about yourself, it lowers the person's defenses and they're more apt to listen to you. So when you take the time to approach the person in a certain way, they're more apt to listen to you. Now, the next thing is to think about what you're going to say. So sometimes it's not good to just react and just with speed. Sometimes you slow down and you take the time to make sure that every word that's coming out of your mouth, you're thinking about its effect and you're thinking about how it's going to be received and you're thinking about how effective it's going to be. If you think about how it's going to be perceived, how it's going to be received, how effective it's going to be, then you're more likely to respond in a way where it's productive, it's constructive, and no matter how the person feels, you will have a clear conscience because you did it the right way. Now, sometimes the person's not going to receive it the right way. They're going to be combative. They're not going to want to hear it. They're going to want to fight or whatever else or argue. That's not your problem. The important thing is, how did you handle the message? How did you try to help this person out, right? So in the end, when it comes to Snoop Dogg, he says, he says, I'm a nonviolent person. We're not looking to hurt her. You know what? And I believe him because I think about where Snoop Dogg came from, right? And I think about who he is now, a father, a business owner, leader. He has several TV shows. When he thought about it, he realized because sometimes your past can come back up the way you normally respond to people, right? And if you do it just quickly and in anger, your past can come back up. But when he thought about it, he realized, I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm a businessman. I built up this, whatever else he has going on. And his goal is not to hurt Gayle King. That wasn't what he meant. But in the heat of the moment, things just came out in a certain way. So when you think about afterwards how he thought about, or when you realize afterwards that he realized, okay, yeah, I wasn't trying to kill her or anything. He saw the backlash and he thought about where he is and what he's about. He had to issue another statement. And oftentimes, that's the same thing that happens online, social media. We'll say things and people will react and we'll go right back and forth. If you pause and realize how effective are my words, what is it that I'm saying? Am I saying something out of anger or a factual statement? And how am I delivering it? Then your conscience will be clear, right? You can have a dialogue back and forth. But if you just let your emotions run and you don't pause and learn to say, be an active participant in the conversation and realize how you're coming off, anything can happen. And oftentimes, especially nowadays, it's gonna go left, it's gonna go wrong. So I understood where Snoop Dogg was coming from. I thought about it. I realized how he reacted and what made him react. And I thought about his statement and I realized, yeah, he reacted in anger, right? Because it was just off the cuff like that, right? So that just made me realize, you know what? This is an important thing to discuss because that is part of character building, right? We learn how to react. We learn how to react better. And like I said, it's not about um, you know, it's not about being perfect, but it's about learning to be the best in every avenue of your life, right? The things you do, because everyone has their own faults and issues, including me, right? But we want to address in whatever thing we can work on, right? Some vices are going to be easier to work on, some weaknesses are going to be easier to work on than others. But whatever you can attack and get better at, it's important to build up that character so that when you have a multi-million dollar business, multi-billion dollar business, right? You have the character to hold you and to be able to sustain the momentum that you've built because you know how to handle various situations. So again, to wrap up, when it comes to situations when you deal with someone, just think about it. Take the time to slow down. Think about the words that you're using. Think about the message. Think about your tone. And it's even more when you're writing, right? Let's say if you're responding to someone on your YouTube channel or on Facebook and social media, oftentimes people misjudge your emotion and intent through words, right? Because if we're speaking on the phone or face to face, I could read your eyes, I could hear the tone of your voice, I could hear how you're delivering the message, and it affects everything. Everything is clear. But when you're writing, it's even more important to slow down to figure out how you're delivering the message because people can easily think or perceive that you're speaking in a certain way, right? They may think you're angry, so they read your words in anger, and it comes off, the message is completely different than the way you might be delivering it. So, and sometimes you might take the time to write things perfectly, and people still perceive it based on where they are in life a certain way. You can't do anything about that. Just learn to control what you can control your part of it, do the best you can on your part, and then hope the person catches it the right way. And sometimes people won't. And sometimes it's important to even stay calm, whether speaking or writing, afterwards, and defuse the situation to let the person know, listen, I'm not coming at you to hurt you or kill you or tell you off or belittle you. I'm just trying to help you understand. So don't think I'm attacking you. Understand that I'm just here to just have a conversation, have a dialogue. And if we can just get through this, we'll all be the better. All right. So, like I said, just think about how you approach situations. If you take a moment to pause, and even as you're delivering a message, whether you're typing it or speaking it, just slow your delivery and think about everything that you're doing, writing, saying, how you're saying it, right? The words you're using, the message that you're portraying. And that will go a long way in building a character that handles situations properly. So like right now, right? If you're like me, where you're building and you have, whatever, $10 to your name, $100 to your name, right? You stand to lose less. If you're building a character right now, when you get to the point where you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, even billions of dollars, you're less likely to do something to harm what you've built because you've built the character to be able to handle that. Okay? So remember, your character will take you a lot further than everything else, a lot of other things in life. So it's important to build your inner strength and your character in order to prepare for tomorrow. So that's today's topic. Everything that we do is about becoming our best, building the best life that we can be, and being the best that we can be across the board in every facet of our lives. All right. So stay tuned to the next video that'll be out on Wednesday. That's going to be more on emotional IQ. But stay tuned for that video. And again, with this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video with someone so that they could learn as we're learning and growing as well. Share this knowledge with somebody else. All right. And if you have any comments, let me know how you feel about how this whole situation has been developing in the news. Let me know some of the interaction you've been having with other people. Leave a comment below. All right. So until next time, everyone, remember to live your best life.